and welcome to day 11 as we discuss a little more advanced techniques in Word using graphics. We're going to create our own business letterhead. Let's bring over the textbook here, and our plan is to build something just like this. It's going to look like there we go. It's going to look like something like that, where we insert letterhead, doing some graphics. This is a rectangular shape with our text inside it, with additional graphics added to both left and right. And notice it's the same graphic, but mirrored, flipped left to right. Then some text underneath with some special characters entered inside them. I'm going to let you choose other than the regular just dot from our table of symbols. A date line and a memo header, a standard memo header. I don't know if there's any such thing as an MLA business letter format. And then some text with a table and some coloring of multiple of the different rows of a table. Bulleted items, I think that should be fairly easy. Bringing in tables, and we're going to learn more about tables, how they can be very useful in helping organize information on a page. When you're listing information, tables are very nice, and you will often see this with invisible borders, but turning on formatting marks lets you see that indeed is a table there and helps you nicely organize some data. They don't do much with footers in this one. They do a signature line with the tabbing into the center. And just to go back to the objectives, let's see if I've missed anything here. The objectives listed on the very first page. Wrapping, doing some clip art. The symbols, that's a little dot symbol. Adjusting some formatting, applying some styles. The tab stops, they spend a little time showing you can actually adjust the tab stops as a little table of existing tab stops. I like to just click on the little ruler on the top of the page, but there's actually a dialog box to let you adjust tab stops. They're building blocks and the table. The printing of an envelope using a mail merge kind of thing, we'll explore that a little bit. That can be very confusing, but can also be very powerful. So let's get going. Start a new new document, and let's see if they're changing any. Oh, they're right away changing their margins before they do anything else. Sometimes they sneak in here set your style to be a certain thing, so watch out for that. So here we go. I'm going to start up Word.
Is this Word 3?
This will be, yeah, we're going to save this as your last name, WD3. And try to get that little, my auto hide toolbar is heading right here on the right, and it's right where the recording is, so I'll just find it using the this is an old project, so I'm going to do File New. And remember, you can explore the templates, and I'll bet you there is a business letter in the business templates, but we're going to build one from scratch, so go ahead and do blank document. You can play with tabs on the manage tabs on the ruler, so it's helpful to have the ruler showing by going to the View tab. I like to show rulers. Some people even like to see grid lines, but they can get very annoying, so I'm turning off grid lines. If you have a large document, the navigation pane is helpful. I'm going to leave that off. I'm going to view, we'll keep it viewing that size, and then go back to the Home tab. Get rid of this document. Let's go back to there we go. They want us to adjust our margins. The standard margin is 1 inch left and right, top and bottom. We want to use 3/4 inch left and right margin and 1 inch top and bottom, just because we like to fit a little more text on the page. And here's how you can change the margin settings by going to the Page Layout tab. So up here under Layout, margins here. Now I'm looking for top 1 inch left and right 3/4 inch. There it is right there, a built-in one. I can also do custom margins and have much more control. But it looks like moderate will work. Let's see if that's what they do in the book. Yep, they go to moderate with the 3/4 inch as we wanted. Remember, that's layout, margins. Narrow is not that narrow, 1/2 inch. I often do custom when I want to go out as far as possible. And I think the minimum you can do is like a 1/4 inch or 2/10 of an inch. It will not let you go all the way out to the edge of the page because that would be bad for a printer. Trying to print to the edge of a page would actually cause your printer to get clogged up with ink that goes past the paper. So printers do not like you going all the way to the edge. So if you're doing graphics and want the coloring to go all the way to the edge, you have to get larger paper than your final cut, and then you print out to the edge and then slice it off with a knife. And that's how the fancy magazine people do it. They print almost to the edge, but then cut it off in the final preparation of the magazine. So we've got our margin set, and now we're going to start right away on that letterhead, which is going to have some graphics in there, some phone numbers. And the first thing we do is insert a shape. But first of all, are we putting that in the header or in the at the top of the page? Let's see what we're doing here. Well, we're going to insert a shape. It's going to be a rectangle shape, and they have us put it. It looks like they're putting it about 1 inch down from the margin, because you can draw your letterheads pretty much anywhere. So approximately 1 inch down, and we just draw a shape. So insert, shape, choose a rectangle here, and start drawing it across. Once I've drawn it, the Format tab pops up, and I can specify exactly the height and width that I want. And let's see if they have us do that. 0.53 and 5.7 is our width and height. So change that to 0.53 for a height and a 5.7 for a width. Now I have it exactly as they had it, and then I can grab it, place it in the middle.
I mean, I don't have the option that, oh, here it's focused.
Yeah, once it's selected, you'll see the
What are the measurements again?
0.53 inches and 5.7 inches for the height and width. And the reason we're not making it this wide is because we're going to be adding a little graphic sticking on the end of it here. A little graphic is going to fill and almost fill to our margins. And I think I can center that. Let's see if it'll let me center that. If I go to my Home tab, let's see if I go to the paragraph, will it let me center that? It centers the cursor. I guess it doesn't let me center that graphic. So I have the graphic here. And let's see, we've got the shape size. Now I think we're going to mess with the style. Oh, we're going to do the position. We're going to adjust the position by going to the Format Position. With it selected, Format Position, and we're going to wrap position in top center with square text wrapping. I think that's what they had there. Yep, top center with square text wrapping. What that means is if I did have text, it would wrap left and right of this shape. But we're going to want something different. We're not going to want text over here. We're going to have text underneath the graphic. So we have our shape, the text, or the text wrapping set. Oh, and they want us to change it again. We're going to set it to top and bottom option instead. All right, change it again. There's,
For the wrap.
yeah, top and bottom. They tell you on one page and then have you change it again. And that was on in the layout options section. Now we're going to apply a shape style by going to our styles. We're going to do a shaded blues accent 1. So with the object, with that shape selected, we go to the object styles over here and click on the more button, and down here, I think it's that one here, subtle effect blue accent 1. Yeah. So just select the object, subtle effect blue, right there, underneath these shape styles. And you can always verify your options just by clicking on that, and you can verify here. It shows the little rectangle around the current setting. If you hover over any one, it gives you a preview, but it doesn't actually do it unless you click on it. So I can click out of it, and it retains the last setting. Now, to add text to a shape, they show you that you can right-click on it and add text, or I found out if you just start typing, it automatically will add the text. But you can always right-click. Oh, where'd my right-click add text go? Maybe because it's already there, it doesn't have the add text option anymore. But that text is a little small. We're going to be adjusting that text. Alexander Lisamaris. And select all the text, and we're going to increase it to 24 size. I like to, see how the cursor is inside that text? If I click off of it, the shape is no longer selected. If I click once on the shape, it automatically puts me in edit the text. I can Control A, select all the text within that shape, and Control Shift greater than lets me increase the font size. Without seeing the Home tab, it doesn't show me what my font size is, but I can see now as I have the Home tab visible, Control Shift greater than, I can see that jumping up. And I'm going to bop it all the way up to 24 point. And I have a feeling then we're going to be changing the font type here. So we've increased it. Now we want to bold that text. Control B or the bold button. I like Control B because I do it a lot. Uh-oh, that didn't do it. And my layout option somehow was popped up. Now let's try the Control B. That bolds the text. And then click anywhere else to remove the selection, and simply have the insertion point inside the shape. So I still have the shape selected, but I don't have all the text selected. Now I can see how the changing of my entire theme now will affect everything, including the fonts inside shapes. So they want us to find the organic theme. Let's see if it's still there in 2016. Since this is a 2013 book, we want to find the styles under the design tab and see if we can find the organic theme to apply to our document. So design, themes over here. Remember, themes are a combination of colors and fonts. And there is, I found organic theme right there, second row, second in. And applying that now changes everything. So you want, if you're doing a document, generally I would choose my theme first and then start writing my document and doing my graphics. If you wanted blue, sorry, if you change your theme, whatever that theme likes for colors changes what you had for blue before. Now, supposedly, Microsoft has put some thought into the good matching of colors for us that don't know how to match colors, which includes me. So we're assuming organic has a decent selection of matching, contrasting colors. See how it changed my color selection, my color ribbon, and it changed the font that goes with organic. Looks like, and if I want to see the font, I could probably just click on that text and see that it's a Garamond, goes with organic. Now we're ready to put in that clip art, which is a little stack of books that we're going to put on left and right of that shape. So we go to Insert Clip Art and search for an online picture with books in it. And if we can't find that exact picture, you're welcome to use a different one. And we're going to be doing some color adjustment on that shape we find on that clip art while it waits to load the pictures. While it's waiting, I'll check what they want me to do, verify it. And we're just going to search for the text books. And then when we find the book that looks like that, we're going to insert it. And then we're going to come back to it and adjust its size exactly so it'll fit just 0.53. I'm thinking we're going to set it to 0.53, but we'll find out here. Uh-oh, it's having a problem getting to the server. Let's try again here. You'd think that the Microsoft site would not be slow at getting us its pictures. While it's doing that, I'm going to go to images.google.com and look for books if this fails me again, and I'll find something similar. I've been having trouble getting that online pictures to show up. How's it doing for you? Is it responding?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why it's taken so long for me. Maybe they just doesn't like instructors. So I'm going to books. I'm going to images.google.com looking for books, and I found a very similar one. I found a clip art, and let's go back to see if I can find one that looks exactly like theirs. Let's see. I'm looking for something like that. Oh, I found the exact one on images.google.com. So I'm going to click on it and right-click on the picture and do Save Image As. Let me just try Copy Image. Let me copy image, and I'm going to come over to my Word document. Going to cancel that, and let's do a paste. Control V. There's the picture that I copied and pasted from images.google.com. I'm hoping it will act the same way as the one from clip art. I click on it to select it. Now I can go to the Format tab and adjust its height and width. Make sure I do it the way they want me to. They bring up the layout dialog by going to the little advanced button right there. So let's do that. This little guy right here brings up the advanced layout, and now I can adjust its size by a percentage or by a specific, let's see, 14% is what they want there. Alright, so I go back to my layout, change this to 14%. It looks like that's going to be too small. Let's find out. That looks too big. So I might have to adjust it even smaller.
Did it give sizes or?
I didn't see an exact size. I think I'm going to want to adjust it to 0.53. Maybe they do that after. It looks like they play with the colors. No, they have it matching the exact size of that rectangle. Well, with mine, I guess mine isn't the exact clip art. I'm going to adjust it to 0.53 height, and let's see what happens. Since I know that's the height of my ribbon there. And I'm going to roll the button in so I can zoom in on that.
Is it okay if we use a really weird icon?
As long as you can adjust it. Yeah, if it's decent little icon, as long as you know how to adjust it. And we're going to make a copy of it and put it on the other side. So here's what they want you now to colorize that object. We want it to match the greenish theme of our, or the greenish color of our little ribbon. So that is now in the design, or is it format? Sorry, format color. Here we go. Format color, and I'm adjusting its color to be a little greenish to match the greenish of the ribbon. See how that's done again? Select it, format, color adjustment, and it has all sorts of color recoloring it can do. Some images you cannot recolor. So if you brought in an image that is like a JPEG, it may not be colorizable. It depends on what exactly you brought in if you don't use the exact book image. But mine's looking okay. And let's see, as the books are facing away, is that what they want? Yeah. For now, I think we're going to be flipping them around eventually. So colorize it, and then let's see what else we got to do. Oh, they also want to show you that we can set some transparent color here. We're going to make that little bookmark have a transparent color. And this is where it gets a little more sophisticated. I'm going to zoom in on that. In the color settings, anytime you have a graphic like this, you can set a transparent color, which means anything else in that picture that shares that exact color will become transparent. So if I click on that little part of the bookmark, that color green gets replaced with transparent. Make sure I did the right one there. Oh, I did the wrong one. I wanted to do the outside of that little, so I can Control Z that. Let's go back. Transparent color, and select the outer darker green on the bookmark. If there were that exact same color somewhere else in that picture, it would also become transparent.
How
This.
did you change it to green? I kind of
Oh, I did a color adjustment here. I had to select it, and then in your recolor settings underneath the format. So format, and then color, and then recolor, and there you'll find.
Now
You should have something that makes it a little greenish.
now after we changed it to organic, it made my banner like a brownish color. So do I just choose a green or any color I want?
It should have left it. The organic for me made it greenish from what it was before. Was it originally a bluish one when you drew the shape?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's check your design again. Go back to design and make sure you do have organic theme.
Mm-hmm. Unless there's two of them. But even on the selection for organic, it shows it brown.
Yeah. Okay.
Should
Well,
I
I'd
try
go.
to make it match that?
I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
As long as you know how to select a theme. It's surprising to me that your organic theme doesn't match everyone else's organic. Maybe somebody messed with that theme and messed with organic's color ribbon. That's possible. But I'm not going to be fussy about that. As long as you know how to do the general graphics, I'm fine. So we got the graphics in there. We set a transparent color to that tiny little bookmark that really doesn't have that great of an effect. And they show you that I can also adjust my brightness and contrast plus 20% by using the brightness contrast adjustment, having the graphic selected, format, corrections, and brightness contrast. They just make it a little brighter. Again, just giving you practice at the possibilities what you can do for coloring of any graphic. Oh, and look at that. When I adjust the brightness contrast, it took away my transparency. That, I didn't notice that before.
Do they want a specific contrast or no?
They just went to the plus 20%, just one diagonal down and to the right. And notice that if you just hover over any of the others, it shows you down here what it would look like just as a preview. But it doesn't select it unless you click on it. But notice my transparency went away after I adjusted the brightness contrast, which kind of bothers me. They should have done it in the proper order. Now they want to put a border around that, and that is done over under Format. And where's my borders? Here, Picture Border, right there. And I can adjust my picture border. They want to choose a greenish border, which makes sense since our green is kind of our shape. And did we select the very top one? Yeah. Oops. Picture border. So lots of graphical things you can do. When you get into doing like articles, you'll see this in magazines all the time. They're always doing graphics. And Word has become more powerful in this area. It used to be you couldn't do much of this at all, and you had to buy Adobe products to do anything graphical. Now Word is competing a little bit there, but still I think in the publishing area, Adobe is still the main product. Okay, so we've got that. Now we want to set our wrapping on that particular image. So we have the graphic selected, and we want this one in front of text so we can adjust its position to wherever we want. So change its wrapping from in line with text to in front of text. Now I can take that graphic and slide it up next to that rectangle, and it should snap nicely to the edge. If it's not exactly matching, feel free to modify the shape a little bit. Or I could even modify the size of that shape and get it to, oh, doesn't quite match. I'm going to Control Z that. The bottom almost lines up. I'm not going to be fussy. Remember, you can't adjust its position unless it's not in line with text. If you have it in line with text, it'll push other things around as you adjust it. Oh, they put it on the right first, and then they mirror it on the left. Okay, I'll do that. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to zoom out so I can drag it over to the right side of that ribbon. Select it once, drag it over to the right side. It lets me, come on. There we go. And it kind of snaps to the edge. Now I'm going to copy and paste it and flip it and then bring it over to here. I don't know why that thing keeps coming up on me. So it's sitting over there. Control C, Control V is how I do it. They do the copy button and then paste, which I find, I do this so much, I do Control C, Control V, and where did it go? There it is. It took a while to come. And I'll take one of them and drag it over to this side, put that guy back where it was. Now we want to flip him around so the books are facing the ribbon, and this guy, the book is kind of touching it. I'm going to use my arrow key to pull away from the ribbon a little bit. Right arrow key to get a fine adjustment. There we go. This one I'm going to flip it, and that's under the Format tab. This guy right here, the little rotate or flip, and I'm going to flip horizontal so that becomes a mirror image of that. And we dragged it, moving it around, landing on the other side, and we flipped it. And I have not saved my document yet. The book kindly reminds me, better save this. I'm going to Control S, save it to my folder here, and give it the name, my last name, WD3. And I think I'll put a little description or business letterhead. Just to remind me what it is. So we've done some graphics now, brought in some images, adjusting the coloring, setting a transparent color. And we've saved the documents. Now we're ready to add some text right beneath that. So I want a line right below that shape. It's going to be a separate paragraph, and we're putting in the address of this person. So I'm putting in this right here, double clicking while my cursor shows that icon, and then it centers it. I could just as well click center. Putting in the text, see if it lets me. Nope, it copied the image. I have to type it. Even though it said it copied it, 540 Cedar Road, Brand Center, Washington. $98472. And now comes the little tricky part. We want to put in a symbol with a little dot. To find that, we go to the Insert button, where we can find special symbols. Insert symbols over here. And symbol brings us all sorts of current, recently used symbols, or I can go to the More Symbols and find a huge listing of possible symbols. It all depends on what font I'm in. And let's see if we choose a font here while we're in that symbol. Uh-oh, I just crashed Firefox. That's sad. So I'm on my own until I get my book back. Thank you, Firefox. Let's see if I can find that symbol in the normal text. I think it's a special font that we use. That's the only question here. More symbols, and then it's the font normal text. Yep, normal text. Yeah, so it is normal text, and it's somewhere down towards the bottom here. We're looking for a dot. And I don't know why I have these rectangles here. This is, I don't remember seeing these before. That's a little problem for me. Oh, but there's the dot. So slide down through your characters. Once I select that, I can just click Insert. Let's see if a double click does it too. Let me try double click. Yes, double click does it. And now it also remembers it as a recently used symbol. So if I do this again, I don't have to go hunt for it again. It shows it as a recently used one. Kind of handy, so I don't have to hunt through that whole table again. So I have that little dot. Now I hit a space after it, and I put in the rest of my information, which will be some phone information. And there's my phone number, 873-555-3928. Okay. There's my phone. Now, if I don't remember how to do that symbol, or maybe it's not in my recent list, remember when you're ever working with a document, if you find a symbol you like already being used, you can always just copy paste that without having to know where that came from. So be creative. If you don't remember the symbol, you can always just say, well, I see it over there. Let me just copy and paste it from where I used it there. But knowing where to get new symbols from here is even better. So remember, it shows up in the recent ones now. So I could always just go to there and choose the recent. But remember, if there's ever a question where it came from, but you see it somewhere else, just copy paste. I will do that often when someone's using like Greek or Hebrew in a document. Rather than to figure out where did they get that from, I can just copy letters from what they've already had to insert a reference to perhaps even a different or a Hebrew letter or a similar word. Now that we have that, we also then import put the symbol in again, and then put their email, samaris@earth.net. And now I've got my letterhead with a paragraph underneath it. And we don't want that capitalized, I guess, because it's normal email. You know, with emails, usually capitalization doesn't matter. And did you know with Gmail, if you have your name and a dot in there somewhere, your name without the dot will take you to the same email address. Gmail actually ignores those dots. Now we've got to get that line under the paragraph. We want a bottom border, and that's the format of that paragraph. And this is a, go ahead.
Mine is like going to another line.
Check your font size. My font size is 11.
Mine is 11 as well.
How about your margins? Are your margins the 3/4 inch?
Oh, maybe they got changed when we did the thing.
So go to your layout, margins, moderate. Maybe that'll fix it.
They're still moderate.
Are they moderate? I'm not. Can't tell why it's wrapping. Let's take a look here. Did turn on formatting characters under Home tab. Turn on the formatting, and let's see. Okay, so you don't have a new line in there. Okay, so go on up top and bottom. Let's turn on your rulers. Go to View and turn on rulers.
Okay.
Oh, we're almost there, right?
Oh.
And I don't see any margin. Click in that paragraph. So why it would be wrapping?
Well, is it maybe my pictures?
Is it-
I don't know. I wrapped them differently, so
Yeah,
they wouldn't go up
Do
there.
top and bottom. There we go. So the wrapping of the picture is what messed up the wrapping of the text. So you're good. Now flip that book so that we have a mirror image of your.
Yeah, I missed that part because I was
Okay.
trying to figure out why it was being.
Okay, so go to Format tab and rotate the flip. Yeah, that one, yeah. And flip forward. There you go. Now you've got nice mirroring books, and you're ready to go. Excellent. Now here's the deal with paragraphs and borders. Remember, paragraphs, if you do a new paragraph after this, it will remember the setting of the previous paragraph. And with borders, they act weird. They only follow the last paragraph of a group. So, here's how we want to do this. Before we put a border on this paragraph, I'm going to start a new paragraph by hitting Enter. Now I'm going to come back to this paragraph and say, okay, paragraph, I want you to have a border underneath you. And that is in the Home tab, Borders, bottom border. Now, the paragraph after that I can go down to and continue. My border will not follow my next paragraph. If I had two paragraphs, watch what happens. If I'm in this paragraph and I hit Enter now, it says, oh, you want another paragraph? I'll put the border beneath those two paragraphs. That's not what I want. To get rid of that, I have to say this paragraph, go back to normal formatting and go back to the design of this one, or was it layout, to not have borders on this one. To say, wait a minute, this paragraph doesn't have borders. Then the border should, oh, it didn't pop back up to that one. Let's see how they explain that in the book. They put on a border, then they hit Enter, and then they do the clear formatting instead. Oh, and there's one more thing here. With this email, we don't want that email decorated like that. We want to remove that link. So right-click on that text and remove hyperlink, because we don't want that printing out with the goofy underlining. Now we have our header complete. The rest of it's a lot easier. All these graphic stuff was the most of the time spent for this. Now we're ready to just do normal text, putting in our header information. And they talk about all the auto formatting, auto selection. We converted that to regular text by removing the link. And now Control S to save it. And now we're ready to, oh no, they apply a style now to the rest of our document. We're going to apply a style to this new paragraph. And we're using a different style. We'll put in our title here, Samar's thank you letter. Oh no, that's a different thing. That's the name of the file. Do not want to change the name of our file. We're just going to continue with this one. Oh, now they do a little discussion on tab stops before they actually have us type this letter. Okay, we'll play with our tab stops. And that is in the extra dialog box under, let's see, we're using our ruler. We can bring in tab stops just by clicking on the ruler. They're putting in a tab stop at the 4-inch mark. Viewing rulers, just click on the ruler up there. We'll put in a tab stop. I thought it would. It's not showing up. Huh.
No, you can right click it to that one. Good for me.
Huh. I thought clicking it, maybe it's my slowness here of the machine. It's not adding the tab stop. But if I double click, it takes me to the tab stop dialog.
No, I right click.
Or right clicking also. I was supposed to be able to click on that to put a tab stop there, but it did not show up. Let's try that again. Double click. Well, I can go there and I can adjust my tab stops. Well, that's my page setup. I don't want that.
Pick under the number a little bit.
There we go. I guess I was just too far above. There we go. There's a left tab stop now. And if I put it in the wrong place, I can always click it and drag it. And if I want to get rid of it, just click and drag it off of the ruler. That takes it away. So click once, just in the right place, puts it right underneath. And the type of tab stop is controlled here by clicking this little guy. That controls the type of tab stop I'm inserting. That's a center. And there's the left tab. I can get rid of this guy, or I can leave it. This is what happens if you say center. It'll put it centered at 3.5. Okay, so I'm back on this line, and I believe I hit a tab stop, and I want to enter the current date. So tab in, and insert current date. Where is my insert? Where's my current date? Date and time. Oh, here it is, hiding over here under the different symbol. Insert date and time, and it gives you the style of date you can insert. And let's see what style they want. They want the third style down. That looks like the month, February month, and the year. Double clicking will insert it, or clicking OK. Now if I hit enter, it goes back to the left side. If I ever come back to this line, notice the tab, it is remembered by the paragraph. If I put my cursor in here, it should see that tab. It's not seeing the tab. What happened to it? Oh, I was in the wrong paragraph. Let me put my 4-inch tab there. And now, with this one, I get, for some reason it has that center tab in there. I'm going to get rid of that center tab. Now it remembers that first tab takes me to the 4-inch line. We'll stop there. We'll come back and finish this document on Wednesday. We've done a lot of things here with graphics and tabs. But once we're past this, then it's just a matter of, well, I guess the next more complicated thing, we're gonna do tables. Alright, so save that. Some place where you does not get lost, your jump drive or upload it. Yes, sir.
I put on the 4 inches time and it goes all the way to the
Did you hear one tab?
Yeah.
Turn on formatting characters
Where's that?
on the home tab.
Oh.
I feel like my word is just the full improvements.
Jumps like 2
My
inches.
spacing looks way different than everyone else's.
Yeah, I don't see
And I can drag it to the third. and
Even though
it's the
it's
same.
set at all the exact same stuff. What?
And
Do you
the-
have spaces?
No.
No, there's no space. There is. I think it would show them.
No, it's every time, not just this document. Like, every
Backspace
time my
again.
spacing has just been
And
so
again.
weird. I'll change it to double.
Now hit
it's
one
just
tab.
double.
Okay,
Tweak with
maybe
it,
it's
like,
I guess
with all the measurements.
Yeah, if you would have
I've
showed
seen it
that.
like that on
Yeah,
other
there was like a
computers in the.
arrow.
Yeah, it should have had 2 arrows if there were 2
Mhm.
tabs.
Where they're just like set automatically.